All right, good day to all of you, and thank you for being here for the 8 proven ways to recycle your content to boost exposure. Now, when I say content, what do I mean? Well, I mean the material that you already have, and what can you do to produce more distribution and more conversions or more sales that you already don't have. All too often, people receive a piece of press or do a podcast or write a blog post. Maybe they get a social mention, but they don't do anything with it. And by the end of the day, I'm going to provide you guys several different ways that you can take the content that you already have and recycle it to get the conversions that you wanted on that original day. Let's talk about press. Now, maybe you don't have press yet, but you're looking at getting some press. Now, when I say press, I mean a mention in a magazine article, maybe on a television show, your local news channel. You want to create a relationship with reporters. Now, you can do this a lot of different ways, but one of the easiest ways to do this is to find a person on your beat. What is a beat? A beat is a specific type of news that someone covers over and over again. It could be weather, sports, business, something specific in business, crime. Obviously, we're looking for business. Maybe there's something with agriculture or startups or technology, and there's a specific reporter that is in that beat. You want to find the beats that are most relevant to you and find the person on the beat. You want to follow and engage with them on social media, wherever they are, then reach out to them via email and help them with a story, idea, or lead. And you're not pitching your business at all. You're basically trying to become a source to them so that they will use you over and over again. So how do you do this? We've all heard of Google, so type in local businesses. And here, you're going to find a story about this is our local paper here where it says Young Veterans Brewing Expansion Increases Tasting Room Beer Production, right? But right below it, it says who wrote it. So maybe you're in the alcohol industry and you're looking for someone who might write about alcohol, or maybe Robin is the business reporter here for the Virginian Pilot. So what you're going to do, oh, look, that's Robin right there. So there's her information. You hover over it. And on most pages, you're going to find that when you hover over the name, it's going to give you their name, their email, and their Twitter. Why do they do this? Because they want you to give them more information. Now take that information and create a spreadsheet where you put in basically their logistics and are they national or local. I recommend that if you're not very fluent in this, to start with the local chapters of your news organizations or those media companies. Why? Because you'll learn that it's a lot easier to get local press than national press. And it also will help you learn from the local ways so that when you do get national or international press, you're primed and ready for it. Let's try this again. Google business. Where are some national or international organizations? Now, this is HubSpot. HubSpot is a content company, maybe not your normal news organization, but it's still press and it's still information. 9 places to find quality email newsletter templates is what this is called. But look at that. Written by who? Lindsay. And what's right next to that? Ooh, look at that. Her Twitter. And if you hover over her name, it's going to give you her email. Now, remember, we're creating relationships. And when I'm talking about relationships, it's just like you would with a significant other or someone that you're friends with. You don't go after everything on the first date. You try and create them. Why? Because when you do, what ends up happening is they come back to you because you help them over and over again. I've done this hundreds of times. And as someone who works in news too, it's a great avenue for that person to just call one person and get the answer that they want. Have you ever been in a situation where you needed information, but you didn't know who to call? And then you realize, oh, if I call this one person, I can get all the details. Well, that's what you end up becoming for that reporter. So again, you create a relationship with them. It's not a match.com kind of relationship. You're going to engage with them on social, but as you would with a friend, not pushing your business or your own agenda. And let it happen organically. Reporters are nosy, and they'll ask you about what you do. And we don't want to go into this blind. So you want to start local and branch out for them. And you can use this press release template if you want. You can get it by going to 1004.com. And we have dozens of templates like this to help you along the way. So what kind of email would work when you're sending maybe a press release to these groups? Well, let's say you're sending the email to press@press.com. You want to have an enticing subject line. In this case, 13,000 business owners head to Norfolk. That seems interesting. And if I'm someone who is on the opposite side of this message, getting it, man, 13,000 business owners head to Norfolk, that seems insane. I might want to know about it. So you're at, hey, press, 13,000 business owners will join the 1004 tribe this weekend to share their stories of business pains to systematically grow their business to using proven systems, excuse me. Please take a look at the attached press release. And if you have any questions, call me on my sales act. Now, remember, you have a relationship with this person or the station that you're saying this to, or the HubSpot of the world, the organization. And this is just something to entice them, to let them know that, hey, this press release is coming. Now, press releases can be very difficult because in a place like a news organization, what happens is it's kind of crazy. Now, I'm going to go full screen and share with you guys this real quick and show you. So what happens is when you are in what they call a newsroom, which basically is an office full of all the news people. So there's producers, there's people who get the information, there is the reporters, the anchors, people like that, the production people. What happens is people bombard them with articles like this all the time. Hey, come to my event. Come. Me. And they don't have a relationship with them. And what happens is when you don't have a relationship with these people, basically the press release goes into a junk file. And if I remember when I actually worked in a newsroom every day, we would get stacks of faxes basically, right? And you see how there's nothing on this? It's basically what happened is it becomes junk to these people because they don't have a relationship with them. And all it is a piece of paper that basically says, pick me, pick me, pick me. Now, if instead you could create a relationship with them and talk to them a lot, then say, hey, by the way, I'm going to be sending this press release. And then around the day of the actual event, if that happens to be that day, be like, hey, I just wanted to make sure that you're going to be here. See how much better of a story it tells. The problem with newsrooms are they're very much organizations of the right now, and they don't really care about most things, even if they're great stories. So you just have to kind of know the game a little bit better and understanding that while sending out a press release can be something of importance, if you have zero relationship with these people, you're unlikely to get the result that you want. And so as we talk about recycling content throughout all of this, I want to make sure that you guys are creating the relationships to get the actual results that you want. Okay, back to the slides. If you guys have any other questions throughout, feel free to reach out. All right, how many times have you been to a website and said, as seen in? Just like it would if it's the infomercial. It's as seen in Walmart, as seen at CVS. It's the same thing, but it's as seen in the press where you received it. In this example, these are all places where my company Hatch has been. The Virginian Pilot, Inside Business, the Daily Press, Serious Startups, the TED Stage, TechCrunch, Entrepreneur. Why are we doing this? Because it makes you an authority. And the last thing you want is someone to come to your website and not think that you're trustworthy. But if you could use other big name brands to endorse you, you're more likely to convert in the manner that you want to. So you're basically leveraging a big brand to say, hey, it's okay, he's credible. Now, later on, I'll tell you guys exactly how to get people to opt into your email list. But if you have an email list, it's a great way to engage with people. I tend to look at it as social media but it's one-to-one. It goes directly into someone's inbox. And if you just got press, you can say, hey, we just got press, wanted to let you know about it. And here's a great example of one where a few weeks ago, we put on an event and we hosted two entrepreneurs in our backyard, and we were able to get press about it. As you can see here, this is the article in Inside Business, and we basically sent this email out to our following, and our list is several thousand people. And we just said, hey, did you read about this article that was written about us and the people in our backyard? And it did. It was a way to engage with people directly instead of hoping that they went to this page. You could do something similar on your social media as well. Now, as you'll see throughout this webinar, we are creating a calendar of social posts that you can produce and then distribute out. You can do this by downloading the form below, or you can also get this calendar by going on a calendar that you have at your home. You can go and create a document or a spreadsheet and create a graph, or just take a simple piece of paper and carve out certain dates. We go Sunday to Saturday, and as you see at the end, well, this entire block will be blocked off. Now, this is for an entire month, not each day. So we don't have a lot of press. A lot of people don't have a lot of press. So we're only going to schedule one. This is just a guide. You don't have to follow this closely if you have a ton of press, right? So we probably had press in the 3 figures and meeting over 100 times. And what we can do is just say, okay, when are we going to report this press back out so people can find us? A great way to schedule using this calendar system are tools like Hootsuite and Buffer. Now, both of those are free. They also have paid versions, and MeetEdgar is a more premium service, and it also has a premium price to it. Now, how can you use press as a collateral? This is one of my favorite ways. And why do you ask? Well, because people are already in their email. So how could you use this to engage with people? Well, at the end of your email signature, you can say something like your name and then hyperlink an article that you want people to learn about. So when we were in Entrepreneur Magazine, we would say my name, company, whatever else you want to put there. And then, did you see us in Entrepreneur Magazine? And when you click that link, it goes to the Entrepreneur Magazine, you guessed it, article. And you can also use this in your social posts. So take the article, maybe you can go to canva.com and create a little graphic, but using it in your cover photos. Then in the description, make sure to say, hey, this was us in Forbes magazine, and we wanted you to hear about it. Click the link here. A great way to connect with reporters. Many of you are asking, how can we connect with reporters? Another way to do it, other than the first way, is to use a little service called Horo, helpareporter.com. They need content and leads, and you need exposure. It connects reporters with people in specialized fields to be featured in a mutually beneficial way. It's a great place, and we have been able to get dozens of articles and our names reached out about it. So maybe you're on the journalism side. That's okay. But maybe you're a source. So you just click that, and then you'll start getting a series of emails every day saying, this article, like this, I'm looking for, let's see, maybe you know something about global liability insurance. Well, you can click that link, and what will happen is once you get there, they'll have a question about global liability insurance, and maybe you are an expert in that field and you can answer a question. What does this get you? It gets you mentioned in the article. It gets you likely a link on their website back to you, and it just is great for search engine optimization to get back your information to the other world. So you're basically leveraging other people's networks.